Hello, welcome back to Guidance Education channel. In this video, we are going to discuss relation governing refraction through spherical surfaces. So far, we have been discussing refraction through plane surfaces, that is the interface separating the two media. The interface separating the two faces is plane. In this case, interface separating the two media is curved in nature. Let us mark this as medium 1. This is medium 2. We are considering single refracting surfaces. When refraction takes place through curved surfaces, the image of the object will be formed. The image may be real or virtual. The surface may be convex or concave. Refraction may be occurring from rarer to denser or from denser to rarer. In the case of convex surfaces, images formed may be real or virtual. For concave surface, it is virtual image. We have to find the relation governing refraction through spherical surfaces for all these different cases. We will discuss this in several small videos, otherwise the video will be very long. But before we proceed, watch the video completely, and if you think the video is useful, like the video, share the video and subscribe to my channel. Please press the bell button so that you get intimated as soon as videos are posted. Also, leave your comments in the comment box. That will be a great motivation for me. Thank you very much. Now, let us see the relation for refraction at convex surface forming real image. This is the convex interface, this is rarer medium and this is denser medium. The refractive index of rarer medium is N1, refractive index of denser medium is N2. The details of the diagram I have given below. I have already done the derivation here. This is only to save some time. I is the angle of incidence. This angle is R. This is the angle of refraction. PO is the distance of the object. As per new Cartesian convention, distances are always measured from the pole, and here the incident ray is in this direction and the distance of the object is measured in the opposite direction. So the distance of the object, which we take as U, is negative here. O is a luminous body. We have considered one ray passing along this line, and if refraction did not occur, it would have passed on along this line. Since it is entering the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. This is the bending. NCC dash is the normal. The normal drawn to this surface passes through the center of curvature. Another ray considered is a ray passing along the principal axis. The object is facing the convex surface. These two rays, a ray passing through the principal axis will go without deviation. So this ray passes along this direction straight, and this ray deviates along this path, not the dotted line, along this path. These two rays converge at the point I, where you get the real image. AM is a perpendicular drawn to OI. For a surface which is only slightly curved, this point M can be considered at point P because the distance PM is very small. We can imagine that AM is equal to AP, this thing. CP is the radius of curvature. NAC dash is the normal. Angle OAC is represented by the symbol alpha. IAC represented by the symbol R. Angle AIP, this angle, represented by the symbol beta. Angle ACP represented as gamma. Angle NAO is angle of incidence. P is the pole. For a triangle, external angle is equal to sum of the internal opposite angles. We need to find the expression for angle of incidence, angle of refraction, etc. As per Snell's law, sin I by sin R is equal to N2 by N1. For small angles, sin I is equal to I and sin R is equal to R. So N2 by N1 is equal to I by R. We can omit this side. Therefore, from this we can write N2R is equal to N1I, or we can write it also as N1I is equal to N2R. Let us see what is I. Considering the triangle AOC, this triangle, I is equal to alpha plus gamma. From triangle ACI, this triangle, small triangle, gamma is the exterior angle. Gamma is equal to beta plus R. From this we can find an expression for R. R is equal to gamma minus beta. So you have an expression for I and an expression for R. These two things we require. Substituting for I and R, we can rewrite this equation as N1 alpha plus gamma is equal to N2 gamma minus beta. For small curvatures, instead of AM we will take AP. Tan alpha is equal to alpha because alpha is very small, and that is equal to, from this triangle, PA by PO, and tan beta, this angle, is equal to, we are considering the triangle API. So we get PA by PI, this distance. This distance is the distance of the image. Tan gamma, this angle, we consider this triangle is equal to gamma because it is small angle. That is equal to PA by PC. Therefore, N1 into alpha plus gamma is equal to N2 into gamma minus beta. Let us substitute alpha, gamma and beta with the expressions that we got earlier. Alpha is equal to PA by PO, gamma is equal to PA by PC, and beta is equal to PA by PI. So N1 into PA by PO plus PA by PC is equal to N2 into PA by PC minus PA by PI. Now in this equation we find that on both sides of the equation the numerator is the same. We just cancel it. N1 into 1 by PO plus 1 by PC is equal to N2 into 1 by PC minus 1 by PI. PO is equal to distance of the object, PC is equal to radius of curvature, PI is equal to distance of the image. Distance of the object is measured in opposite direction to the direction of the incident light. So this equation becomes N1 into 1 by negative U plus 1 by R is equal to N2 into 1 by R minus 1 by V. This can be written as N1 by negative U plus N1 by R is equal to N2 by R minus N2 by V. Let us bring these two quantities to the same side because the denominator is the same. N1 by negative U plus N2 by V is equal to N2 by R minus N1 by R. Now this quantity can be written as N2 minus N1 by R. So the whole equation becomes N1 by negative U plus N2 by V is equal to N2 minus N1 by R. This is the relation for refraction through convex surface producing real image. I hope the derivation was clear. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.